Hey guys, welcome back to Vince Bell Custom. So today I'm sharing with you a garage kit review on this last level. I think that's correct. Franco Carlissimo sculpted Spider-Man resin kit that I'll be painting up for someone. It's a really great sculpt. I like it a lot. Definition on him is amazing. Comes with 3 heads, I think, or 4 heads. 3. Interchangeable hands. The base is actually humongous though. So as far as I know, the person I'm painting it for is going to have a simple base made that's going to be etched by my friend Meta John in Canada. And this way he can actually display it in his collection room. We're still going to paint up this base and stuff. If down the line he ever has room or he redoes his collection room, he could pop this one out. But in the long run, he probably said he doesn't have much room for this base, so we're going to have to kind of switch it out. So it does have 2 levels on it. You can have Spider-Man like with this part here, or you can put it on top of this part here and you can raise him up. So I mean, that's pretty much the piece. I'm not going to put them all together because I'm a little bit worried about if any pieces and fall and stuff. So I always just kind of want to just give a basic review and just go from there. But it's sculpted really well. The details in the bases are amazing, so you can kind of see all these nice little details in here. So, you know, doing some nice old weathering effects and stuff would look pretty cool. I like how the windows are pretty much kind of like boarded up. So that's kind of like a cool idea where, you know, you can paint them. You could probably add like, you know, broken glass and stuff like that onto them as well. But I don't know if we're going that far with it. I think it's just pretty much a paint up because he wants to really focus on Spider-Man and the simple base, and I think the big huge base. So but like any kit, you can always go a lot further with the items and stuff. There is 2 cats that come with it, the interchangeable heads, and it's pretty much pieced together pretty well. So even though he's all together right now, there is a lot of different pieces. So we'll get in closer and kind of go over that in a second. But I just kind of wanted to pop them out of the base. I wanted to make sure I got all the parts out. I kind of wanted to get a better idea of what we're, you know, what I'm up against. One of the cool things about this though is we don't know yet, it hasn't told me yet, if we're going to be painting it up in the blue and red or if we're going to go more of like the old school where it's kind of like the black and red. So I haven't really ever painted a black and red Spider-Man. At least I don't remember if I did. It's possible, but most of the time it's always been blue and red. But I like the idea of going like an old school with a black and red. But we'll see what happens. So I'm going to stop the camera. We'll get a little bit closer. We'll go over Spider-Man. We'll break him down a little bit. And then hopefully I can start working on him this month. Okay, so we'll start with the heads. Just to be on the safe side, I always like to make sure I don't drop anything or break anything. But it's sculpted really well. There's a lot of texture on his head, as you can kind of see. The line work is pretty friendly for painting in the black lines, so that's kind of good. Usually sometimes you get these kits where the lines are really not that friendly. And it's kind of harder. I kind of like how these lines are indented a little bit deeper than usual, so that'll make things a bit easier. So we have 2 different style mask heads, so I guess it's kind of one with like, you know, the big eye version and the smaller eye version. So I guess the big eye version, you could always say it's a McFarlane type of look, but it's pretty cool. Now, what's really cool is we have an unmasked version, which is a nice little touch. So you got the unmasked version, and then you do have a hand here that is actually holding the mask. So that's going to be a little tricky to paint up. Looking at it, I'm not seeing any flashing, which is kind of good. But there is possible there might be. I'm not really sure. So he does got a couple different hands. So if we go down a little bit, these hands are magnetized. So this hand does go into here. And the magnets are pretty strong. So I'm not, you know, so as far as that goes, I'm glad I don't have to worry about the hands. Because sometimes I get these kits in China. They don't always use strong magnets. They might use N50 magnets instead of the N52s, and they're really never strong to hold up some like weight. But this one is looking really strong, so that's a good thing. So you do have fist version, masked version, and then here we have the open hand version, and then we have a fist version. So that is kind of cool. So they go in pretty well. This one seems to be a little bit messy. This one kind of goes in flush, but I'll have to see about this hand. It could be just the way it's sculpted, but you know, it's hard to always get a flush, you know, hand and stuff when you do things like that. So I want to take everything off though because I don't want to break anything. So when I pulled him out of the box, I was like, oh cool, he is actually one piece, but actually he is not one piece. So we'll go back as far as we can a little bit on here. So this is torso is put like that. So that's not bad. It's a really nice sculpt, nice detail all around him. There's really no crazy flashing anywhere that I'm seeing. They might have put the mold down this line here so that you can see this line is a little bit thicker compared to these. So that's probably where they put the mold line when they did the two-part mold. But you got the nice symbol on the back of them. Really cool texture. Honestly, as far as texture goes, personally, I would like to have seen maybe only one of these textured and one of them not textured. Having the whole entire outfit textured is kind of like not my thing. But I think, you know, having like, I guess if I was to paint it up, I would always like to make the outfit a little silky. So having part of it textured and part of it not textured is kind of like, you know, something I would personally want. But other than that, I think it's really still a great sculpt. The key's going pretty well. See, it's a little bit loose here. So of course, the way I paint up, what I'll probably do is I probably would paint this separate. Even if I painted it all together, it doesn't really matter. I would mask all this off. I'm definitely going to attach this body. Now, they did put the legs removable, which you can see it's just key there. It's no magnets. I'm going to put all this stuff together at the very end. Or even I might do it just beforehand. It depends. I really can't start painting him up until I get that other base, because I want to make sure that I could get his feet into the simple base and everything. But for right now, I want to just kind of prep it all up. I want to prime it, get it all cleaned up, and go from there. So what I'll probably do is wipe all this down with some alcohol, get it all nice and dried up in case there's any fingerprints on there, because I'm not really feeling any like oily residue. So I'll get them all wiped up and then go from there. And everything. So let me pull back the camera a bit. Let's put him up on the base stacked, and then we'll finish out. Alright, so here's Spider-Man. You can see how big he is with the base stacked. I mean, it is absolutely unreal. So if we go over in this direction, you can see all the details on the base. It's just too big for Spider-Man. I think with a museum pose standing on a building edge like that, I think it's just a little too much. And plus, giving him two cats, it's like, it's missing Black Cat. You know, I understand that there's two cats there and it's chilling next to Spider-Man, but she should be in the picture. Like, I think maybe if there's an add-on or companion pieces, which there might be, I'm probably mistaken, and I don't know that there's being one produced or there was one. If it's like an add-on to the back where Black Cat's like chilling in the background, or if like they had an add-on where Black Cat's kind of like hanging off the edge here, kind of climbing up, and the cat's looking down on her, that would be awesome. I think that would fit the item where he doesn't realize she's there. I think with like a building like this, I think Spider-Man would be more like kind of crouched down. That's kind of like his pose. Being standing like this, like a Superman pose, kind of, I don't know. It doesn't really fit the item, and I kind of like the idea that the person I'm painting it for, we're going to be doing a simple base for him because it's more of a museum pose. I think with this type of pose and this size of a base, it should be cut down here, and it should be just this section to maybe the top of the windows. I think that would fit better for a collection. That's just my personal opinion. I personally don't like big elaborate bases like this. I think it takes away from the characters. Unless it's like you're a super fan of Spider-Man and you want this item in your centerpiece and you want to build the display around this, that's a different story. But if you have a specific display casings and you go for 1/4 scale stuff and then you get this item in, it's like, where do you put it? So that's just a personal preference. But you know, like in a hobby, we're all different. We all like different types of stuff. But I think if they ever, you know, these guys with these fan art items, if they produced a Black Cat to be added somewhere on here, I think this whole item would be like 100 times better than what it is. I think she's missing from it because the cats are there. That's what I would do. I would have Black Cat kind of hanging off the edge right here, and then this cat kind of like looking down at her, and then this one could be kind of like over here, like what's going on. That would be kind of cool because he's standing there and she's kind of climbing up the window or has a bag around her thing of jewelry. I don't know. Something's just missing there. That's just a personal preference, but the details are amazing. I mean, it's a really great sculpt. It is definitely out there as far as scale-wise. The anatomy on Spider-Man, the details are out of this world. And I'm glad that, you know, I'll be able to paint him up and I can see him on just a simple base and so in somebody's collection room and focus on that. So with that being said, this is going to be a fun project. I'll be just working on it over the summer. If you are signed up on my Picardo channel, I plan on doing a lot of Picardo streams this year, at least in the month of July, where I'll just kick on some music you can see while I'm painting, and just try to bang out a few kits this month. So if you want to stop by, hang out, I'll be playing some good music that I like to listen to, and you can see the progress on these items. But sadly, with Picardo, I don't plan on recording them and uploading them to YouTube because I'll be playing music, so you won't be able to see them unless you just come into the stream. So with that being said, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be back with some more videos.